Hi, I'm Christian.
And I'm Jacob, and today we're talking about family. You know, one cool thing that my family always did is on Valentine's Day, my mom would bake the dough for these chocolate eclairs, and as the kids, we could gather around and shape our pieces of the dough into whatever we wanted. My sister would make a heart, I would make a heart with an arrow going through it, and then afterwards we'd bake them, cover them with chocolate, fill them with cream, and just bite into these delicious desserts together as a family.
That sounds delicious. I'll be there next Valentine's. Well, let's watch today's God story and hear about what Timothy learned about family. Watch this.
Did you know that a crocodile can't stick out its tongue? Hey everyone, it's Karmyn. Today I want to tell you a story about some special friends of mine. They're a little bit older, like my mom and my dad's age, but to me I call them aunt and uncle. I've known them since I was 2 years old, and they've always been so special to me. When I was little, they'd let me come have sleepovers with special snacks, and then when I got older, we'd play fun games together. They'd buy me presents at Christmas and my birthday, and here's the thing, even though we weren't really related, I still called them aunt and uncle because they were so special to me. I don't know about you, but I actually know a lot of people who have special people in their life that they're not really blood or legally related, but they're still really so much a part of their family. In today's God story, we hear something really cool, and that's this. Because of Jesus, we are family, and that's today's big idea. Today, we're stepping back into the God story that we've been looking at the past few weeks. Paul, the apostle, has been writing a letter to Timothy. And today we pick that up in chapters 5 and 6. Paul has been writing to Timothy, and he gives him some instructions on how we're supposed to treat one another as family because of who Jesus is. Let's read what Paul says. Correct an older man in a way that shows respect. Make an appeal to him as if he were your father. Treat younger men as if they were your brothers. Treat older women as if they were your mothers. And treat younger women as if they were your sisters. So in other words, treat each other like family. If you're going to disagree with someone who's older than you, make sure you show them respect. I really love how Paul tells us to treat each other like brothers and sisters, like moms and dads. It totally changes how we see one another. Look all around you. Look to your left and to your right. This is your family. We might be weird or silly or wacky at times, but this is really wonderful. Paul goes on to tell Timothy to take care of the widows who need help. Now, a widow is a woman whose husband has died. And back in Paul and Timothy's time, it was up to the man to work and make the money and provide the food, so a woman who didn't have a husband anymore wouldn't have a way to be provided for. Sometimes her son would help and step in to provide for her, but Paul is reminding us, and what we need to hear is that it's super important for everyone to take care of the widows, even if they're not our mothers, because they're still a part of our family. So while today we're focusing in on how to be family with one another, I do want to tell you about a few of the other things that Paul told Timothy. He told him to treat everyone the same, to not show favoritism. And then he also shares with him that the love of money, this can lead to horrible things. So in other words, if someone's entire focus is to get rich and get as much money as they can, this really will get you nowhere. It can lead to things that end up being really devastating. And then Paul tells Timothy this. Try hard to do what is right and godly. Have faith, love, and gentleness. Hold on to what you believe. Fight the good fight along with all other believers. Take hold of eternal life. And then Paul goes on to write that God gives life to everything. And that's a really good space for us to land today. That because God gives life to everything, and because of Jesus Christ, we are brought together as family. So what does this mean for us that we're family? It means that even when we don't agree with each other, we talk about it and figure it out. When we do something wrong, we say sorry and we forgive each other. When something great happens, we celebrate and have parties together. We get to be family together, and when we do this, we show God's love to others. And that brings me back to today's big idea. We are family. Well, that's all for me today, guys. I can't wait to see you soon.
Quickly, turn to the person next to you.
And answer the following question.
Question time!
Why do you think treating one another like family is important?
Game time! Fish tank. Can you say the key verse before the time runs out? Get ready. 3, 2, 1, go! Say it with me. Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young. Set an example for the believers in what you say and in how you live. Also set an example in how you love and in what you believe. 1 Timothy 4, verse 12.
Okay, so we might not be the perfect family, but we are family. And if we disagree or hurt each other, we can reconcile and apologize and just work it out.
And you know what? That'll bring us as close as we can get to being a perfect family.
Yeah, and families can look different for all of us. We have small families or large families, families with lots of boys or lots of girls. We even have Reptile Rob, who loves his animals as if they're a part of his family. Let's watch this.
My name's Rob Ruthart, also known as Reptile Rob,
Come on up.
and I love reptiles. I have loved reptiles ever since I can remember. I was born with a love for animals, and reptiles are extra cool to me, even though I love all animals. And my first pet was a pet hamster, which is not a reptile, but then my second pet was a pet turtle. And then I had other pets, which were lizards and snakes and all kinds of cool stuff, and I just absolutely love animals.
Here are two of my little friends. They're called fire-belly toads. And the fire-belly toads are amazing little frog-like creatures that walk and hop. This guy here is a little bit shy. As you can see, he's lifting his head up. And what he wants to do, he wants to show us his brightly colored fire belly, which will scare us. When we see it, we'll be like, and run away, because the big red fire belly might mean he's poisonous, and a lot of frogs are poisonous, so it's a trick to scare away predators. Look at my belly! My next animal I'm gonna show you is so cool. It's a frog called a Pac-Man frog. These frogs are from South America. They call them Pac-Man frogs because half of their body is their mouth. Now you can see his little eyes on the top of his head. Those eyes are specifically there for a specific reason, and that is for spying. He'll wiggle his body and bury under the dirt, and the only thing above the ground will be his eyes. And then an unsuspecting delicious meal comes hopping by, like perhaps a hot dog or a hamburger, and then he comes out of the earth, and he uses his little legs in the front, his little hands, and then he scoops the food into his mouth, goes back under the dirt, and kind of eats them, kind of like a zombie out of the... And then, so that's how he eats his little food. Big mouth, little teeth, big bite. Dun 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 dun. Ba-doo. Oh, isn't he so cute? Look at this little guy just sitting there. So this Australian tree frog is called a dumpy frog. His name is Boogers. Say hi, Boogers. He's a tree frog, so what does that mean? He can climb trees. Absolutely. How does he do it? With suction cup toes. This one here is green. He can change colors. Green, brown. This one can be the color of this one, and this one can change to be the color of this one. And they can be all the colors in between. Let's have a little frog party. There we go. So brown, in between, and dark. How perfect is that? So this here is the house hippo. It's a guinea pig, but without the fur. Take a look at that. And when you touch him on the skin, it's so warm and so soft. Now, of course, I know that you guys love animals, no matter how weird and strange they look. And this guy is no different. He's a nice little animal, part of God's creation. And he's saying hi to you guys too. He's like, yep, I am. If you have a skinny pig as a pet, you have to make sure you keep them warm, because without the fur, they're very chilly. So some people make little sweaters for them, and you also keep them in a warm place in the house. He decided it's his birthday today, so he's not wearing anything. The thing that fascinates me most about the animals I work with is how unique and diverse they are. They're all completely different, and they all have their own special abilities, completely unique to them. These animals are ferrets. We have linguini and fettuccine, and these little ferrets are just balls of joy. They love to explore and they love to interact with people. They've been domesticated. Domesticated is when people choose an animal to help them for a period of time, and then the animals learn to rely on the people so much that the animals can't live in the wild anymore. Ferrets were domesticated because in the olden days, they helped people do a whole bunch of cool things, like hunting. Rats and mice would be in people's houses and they couldn't get rid of them. So guess what? Ferrets would help them hunt the mice and rats in their houses. I would rather have a ferret in my house than 100 rats in my house, that's for sure.
Ferrets are amazing. They can bond so strongly with their owners and become a part of your family, just like a dog or cat. They're so playful and they love it when you pick them up and play with them, and they even like to play hide and seek. So whether you like a dog or a cat or frog or ferret, remember, treat animals with love and respect, and they'll treat you as if you're part of their family too.
I can totally see why people domesticated ferrets, the way they squirm and wiggle and fluff around. They look like tons of fun.
Yeah, and while I can't say I'll bring them into my family, I totally get that people will include animals as part of their family.
You know, and that reminds me of some videos I saw of the flooding that happened in the US. People were being rescued on boats, but the boats wouldn't allow pets or animals. And so instead of leaving their animals alone, scared and frightened in the storm, they would stay with them and weather out the rest of the storm as if they were family.
Yeah, this just goes to show that we need to respect all of God's creation and treat everyone as part of our family. Well, let's break into our small groups and see how this looks like in our own lives.
Bye.
Bye.